Hello everybody on YouTube and happy full moon. It is March 22nd and actually we have a lunar eclipse happening, at least in the northern hemisphere in North America. The lunar eclipse happens on the day of the full moon, which I think is technically, at least here in Boston, it's going to happen at around 5 in the morning on the day of the 23rd. So I'm actually going to be doing my full moon ritual tonight on the night of the 22nd, because I will not be able to wake up at 5 or 5:30 to see the eclipse. And unlike the spectacular eclipse that we had back in September, which turned out to be my dedication to my craft ceremony, this lunar eclipse is, I think it's called a penumbral eclipse, so it's not a total eclipse, it's just part of the Earth's shadow is going to be cast over the moon. But lunar eclipses, especially lunar eclipses that happen around the time of the equinox, which I think the last one in September, it happened around the time of the fall equinox. So I'm kind of throwing in the spring equinox celebration. So I'm kind of celebrating all things at once. Spring equinox, full moon, and a penumbral lunar eclipse. So since I'm back up here in Massachusetts, I arrived yesterday from spring break. It was lovely, but also, you know, spending time away from my husband is always hard, and it always pulls at the heartstrings, and the transition to being apart again, even if we're just going to be apart for about 7 or 8 weeks, that transition still sucks, man. So I'm processing all those emotions, and I think they're especially potent today because of the full moon and the eclipse, because the eclipse to me, it's kind of when we see a full moon and a dark moon in the same night. So things can get kind of hectic, but I think it's also a great time for shadow work. So speaking of shadow work, let me zoom in and show you some of the changes I've made to my altar, and some of the work that I'm going to be doing tonight. If you hear rolling noises, it's because I'm in my desk chair. So yeah, so these are actually the 2 cards I drew at random this morning, and they relate to each other, and they are so spot on. It's creepy almost how spot on they are. This from the Shaman's Oracle, the Shaman of Loss, so that inward journey about loss and processing that. And then the Tower. And I know exactly what or why these 2 cards popped up today. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to be using my shadow work spread, which I made a video about a couple weeks ago, which the more I think about it, the more that spread makes so much sense, and it can be very productive for shadow work. So check out that video if you haven't seen it already. It's in my shadow work playlist. Now, some changes to my altar since the last time I filmed it. This area is definitely different. This area is totally dedicated to Elegua, the Orisha of the crossroads, of chance and luck, the wheel of fortune I think of a lot when I think of Elegua. I've been doing some just very introductory kind of research about Elegua. I'm very drawn to his energy. Like I mentioned in my Miami Botanica haul video, I've always been drawn to the idea of borders and dualities and the synthesis of dualities and the crossing of borders, whatever those borders are, whatever those dualities are, right? So he is a crosser. and I'm principally working with him for prosperity. Elegua is associated with the black and red candles, so I'm going to be anointing these candles and lighting them tonight. And as offerings, he likes rum and tobacco, among other things. So I got him a cigar from the Dominican Republic and some loose pipe tobacco. And this blend is called Judge's Mix. It's by the Levitt and Pierce. This is a tobacco store in Cambridge, Massachusetts, right across the street from Harvard. And man, I wish you guys could smell this because it smells amazing. I personally do not smoke cigarettes or tobacco products, but I love the smell. And since Elegua likes tobacco and he likes cigars, I decided to sprinkle his area here with tobacco, and I've given him an offering of tobacco in his candle. I'm probably not going to burn this candle because I'll work with it as my image of Elegua. But this pipe tobacco is for him. So all of this is for Elegua, and sorry, that was my finger. Elegua, I'm going to principally work with him on Wednesdays. Wednesdays being the middle day of the week. So continuing on with that idea of dualities and the crossing of dualities. Wednesday being hump day, day that crosses one half into the other. Wednesdays are also associated with Hermes and those kind of messenger gods and trickster gods and goddesses from other pantheons. So I'm going to work with Elegua on Wednesdays. So me picking certain days of the week to work with certain spirits or entities or gods or angels or whatever, this is just me beginning to, what's the word? I always forget this word. To make my spiritual practice more of a routine, because during the first year or so that I've been calling myself a witch, it's been very kind of spontaneous and almost chaotic, which is great too. Spontaneity is really great and powerful, but I'm really starting to build a routine. So Wednesdays are Elegua's day. Sundays are going to be St. Michael's Day. And this is the statue I got at the Botanica in Miami last week. So he's down here, and I will be blessing his candle with the oil that I've made for him tonight as well. And up here I have La Santa Muerte and the Virgen de Guadalupe with their respective candles, which I will also be blessing tonight and lighting. Now I have these up here on this upper level because I'm going to work with the Virgin de Guadalupe on the nights of the full moon, because I think of full moon as that very pregnant mother goddess kind of energy. And I think of Guadalupe as that mother protective goddess. But since it's an eclipse, there's that darker aspect of the full moon tonight too. So even though I plan on working with La Santa Muerte on the nights of the dark moon, since there's an eclipse tonight, we're going to have both the full and the dark aspect in the moon. So that's why these two are up here tonight. So my plan is to keep this upper level space in rotation. So if it's a Sunday, St. Michael's going to be up there. If it's a full moon, Guadalupe will be up there. If it's a full moon on a Sunday, then Guadalupe and St. Michael will be up there, and that'll be a great time to work with that balance of the sacred masculine and feminine. If it's a dark moon, La Santa Muerte is going to be up on this space. So this elevated space will be like my focus for that day or for that lunar event. And down here, to kind of continue on with that mixture of Guadalupe and La Santa Muerte, I have this little Mexican sugar skull on top of some rose petals that I've dried. So you have that death element, but roses are also associated with the Virgin of Guadalupe, right? And I have my bell, which I use in ritual to begin and end ritual or to call in spirits. And over here, I've been burning today the moon incense because it's a full moon, and I have my offering to my human blood ancestors and my husband's blood ancestors. So this part of the altar is the same. Mostly I've just been experimenting with the new statues I got at the Botanica and providing Elegua a space just solely dedicated to him, so I can definitely learn and grow and work with him. So yeah, I might show you some images later on tonight after I begin the ritual and I bless the candles and have them all lit up so you can see everything in candlelight. So I'll see you later. There she is. There's that beautiful moon. That gorgeous full moon. And here we are, the night of the full moon, all lit up. And I have my little cauldron here. And on this piece of paper, I have some shit I want to get rid of. And I know we normally use the dark moon to cleanse ourselves of emotional life shit. But because this moon is speaking to me so strongly of shadow work and how the light can drive away the darkness of the shit, and because there's an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, I'm going to take this opportunity to burn this piece of paper inside this little cauldron and move on. Here we go. Elegua. I hope he likes his offerings of tobacco and a cigar. Michael, his candle over here, protecting us and our ancestors. La Santa Muerte in Guadalupe. La Santa Muerte's candle is kind of struggling a little bit. Maybe it's some of the frankincense and myrrh resin I added to it as an offering. I might have to relight that one. Yeah. I hope everybody has a beautiful full moon ritual tonight. She is definitely a powerful one this time. May she bring you hope in times of trouble and strength in times of need. Many blessings.